Like, I don't know. I'm gonna talk to him. I think we might be live on YouTube.
Oh, hey, YouTube. How y'all doing out there? We got a great show for you today, y'all. Stay tuned. Give me 1 second. We waiting on Facebook to check in, and we gonna get this party started, right? You liked it, that kid? You like that?
It was okay,
but I say you liked it.
It was cool. It was cool. Let me get Facebook together. My mouse ain't working.
Right. I don't know what's going on.
We live on YouTube.
But yeah, we live on Facebook. I am the one who bring you Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements. Go to Facebook, find Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements, or you can hit me. I'm gonna tell you a little about it since I got some time. It's focused towards purifying your blood, pushing the mucus out your body, and cleansing your liver.
YouTube is live on Facebook.
All right, Facebook. How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? I hope all is well. Welcome to the Warrior Report, where we walk that walk and we talk that talk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. I am the Black woman lover, the Black man's brother, coach, teacher, hood healer, your holistic health and wellness coach. Come on, Concha. Kev, what's happening, man?
You got energy. Welcome to the show, man. People's Network presents the Warrior Report on a Wednesday night. Come on in, tell your family, come on in. The boys is back at it again. It's the Outlaws. I know y'all love Outlaw Radio. I know y'all do. We get a lot of love. But I am the world-class smartass, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer.
Can you hear?
I ain't perfect, but I'm worthy. So hit like, hit share, hit follow. Get with our YouTube page, garbage, but we get a lot of love on Facebook. I got a real special show tonight. I'm on my political thing. And I'd like to say this. First of all, shout out to everybody who supports us. And I know we have some passionate callers, some people who love the show. And we did a show last week where I bought Punima Nath, conservative Republican, running for county executive on here. It was a disaster.
Y'all see it?
No.
I took it down. I took it down.
Damn.
The callers.
I'm speechless the whole show, right? I'm watching. I'm like,
it went crazy.
Who is that again?
Her name is Punima Nath. And see
what was that? What you call it?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know.
Right. But you know, in my attempt to be flexible,
gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? It's subjective as well as objective. I try to give everybody. She's an Indian, right? But she had just gotten kicked out of a Latino event hours before, and she came over here and got ran out the building. It was bad. Like my callers called in, like, get this A-Rod mother, because we uncut, we unbossed, unbothered,
was
right?
She saying the wrong stuff.
Well, she was trying to pitch the Republican conservative agenda, and her thing was as an illegal, which what she called herself, a legal immigrant.
Oh my God!
And it just went left from there. So
it was gonna go left talking about that,
especially on Outlaw Radio. It was the wrong show, and it was all my fault because Outlaw Radio
people called in like fuck her.
Man, it was crazy.
But like I said, you can't talk about aggressive issues. You let the Hispanics and everybody that's dealing with it tell you what time it is and how they feel about it, and you try to support it.
Or how about if you on a Black people show? Don't be saying no bullshit, because you're going to get it. And my callers are passionate. People who support our platform, they know it's free. 414-231-9982. But I got a special guest in the building. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night, because I actually took the show down because it wasn't a good look for us. Because for me, it's about this. It's about my brand. You know, it's about this, what I built. So, and it was cool. You know what I mean? But I was just like, nah, I don't want to. I ain't going to put that energy out there. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Never drink Tito's when you got a Republican coming.
Oh my God.
That was one of the worst parts of the show. I think I might have admitted to like 5-6 homicides during the show.
Oh man,
it was bad. It was bad. That's why Tori like, what? So tell these people who you are, man. Tell us who you are.
My name is Tori Lowe. I'm an advocate in the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the state of Wisconsin. And I'm currently running for the 6th district.
Very interesting district.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. Who is this queen you brought with you?
This is Liz Brown. She running for the 7th district.
Hey, Liz.
Hey.
Man, I got a 2 for 1. Right?
She fine too, y'all, in real life.
Come on, man. What you running for, my
Vote for her. See more of her, right?
So I'm running for the 7th district.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm also an advocate, but very outspoken about childhood traumas. I'm also an author of 14 books, but children's books speaking about childhood traumas, sexual molestation, mass incarceration, absentee parenting, homicides, suicide, you name it. Our books touch on all bases. The last book we dropped was Lizzie B. the Busy Bee, Come Home to Me, which teaches Black children what they should do when they come in contact with the police, because in the state of Wisconsin, there is no laws to protect our children.
That's what's up. So as you can see, I'm on my political stuff. I brought, and see, this is what I meant to explain too. I actually had brought DC Crowley on the week prior, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had given my endorsement because DC is the homie, right? And I was like, you know, and she was so mad, and I don't want to be racist, but she was like, Kevin, you ambushed me. You should never bring another candidate on. It was like crazy because I already said vote for DC, right?
Right.
I'm trying to be, you know what I mean? So
Well, people got their choices.
Right.
Well, you know, I told her. I said, well, you know what I mean? Your thing here is when you come here, you're trying to win some votes
Real
home.
talk.
well, you talking to Black people.
Never
now.
mind. Don't worry about who somebody, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
is
Worried
behind.
about the wrong thing.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
You're trying to represent and get some people to sway your way.
She was killing
Hey man,
herself.
because we doing a little numbers right now. We got a little razzle dazzle with us. So, you know, when you say something on here, it's official like a referee whistle. You're going to get
Yeah.
like people get that like, man, you was on Outlaw Radio, man. So, and she just said, you have to be a good citizen. And we was like, my caller's calling, like, what the fuck is it? Went crazy. I'm trying to tell you. Shout out to Ernest Walker, man, all the way in AZ from the mill. He's in here. He's in the chat room. He said, Kev, I didn't want to call in, but I just had at his call. And that's what hurt me about taking the show now. Because the people who called in was so passionate. You won't hear that on WNOV.
Nah.
You won't hear that on V100, 98.3. You're only going to hear that here on the People's Network, man. So, you know, we back on tomorrow night. We're going to do Outlaw Radio. White People Be Tripping. Tomorrow night, I'm bringing it back. My series, White People Be Tripping. I got this brother in here, Tory Lowe, who I know all y'all done seen him. You might try to act like you don't. You done seen it, right? Man, if you dude, that's how Milwaukee like, oh, activist ass dude.
Then somebody get shot. Then they
I know.
Hey, Tory, now they looking for it.
That's my guy.
Now they looking for it.
Right.
So tell us people about yourself, brother.
Well, like I said, all we trying to do is advance our neighborhoods and try to get out of the slum that we're in. We're trying to just not go backwards. We're trying to get in new ideas, fresh ideas that got to do with the economy. So, hold on, I got a cough.
You better. You got to go everywhere.
We got to get the economy straight in our neighborhoods, and sometimes these old philosophies that's not working. So we have to start moving in a different direction.
Because he said he didn't want to get ambushed, right? And all this kind of bullshit.
Hey, but he was at, I need y'all to understand that he was at the Martin Luther King program, though.
Right.
So you don't want to get ambushed.
Right.
I just really feel like it was very disrespectful on the strength of you asking for the same people for your vote, but you don't have enough respect to show up for the same people that the community that you claim that you're taking care of. Why are you scared?
Right. If you want me to vote for you, why are you scared of me?
I ran him out the Sherman.
Should I do this to you?
Hey, know that if you do that, because let's remember he got his butt whooped at state
Yeah, so he
fair.
got security.
It was intellectual. I intellectually ran him.
Make sure you put that mic.
I intellectually ran him up out the finish. You know what I mean? And you met,
Real
then we
talk.
sat down and
Real
started
talk.
talking or
Real
whatever.
talk.
And everything went real smooth.
Hey,
My conversation with him went like Panini.
it was rap.
Yeah, it was a wrap. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I only had a few questions.
Hey,
for him.
I didn't know what Panini was, so I'm glad. I thought that was
The
Lil
lady,
Nas
what's
X.
her name?
Panema. No, she
Panema.
wasn't a sandwich.
Panini.
She was an
My
era.
bad.
We done made her a sandwich, right? Look,
Oh my God.
it was so bad. Like people, and this is what I found out. People love what we do.
Right.
They love what we do because, like, the next day I'm at work, like I'm at the plantation, right? And people just hit me like, "Hey," like I'm putting stuff up about my son. People's like, "Nah," I'm like, "No, this is my son. Don't put it on." But shout out to y'all, man. Y'all make the show what it is. We got Liz Brown. We got Tory Lowe. The number is 414-231-9982. 231-9982. I told y'all about 3 weeks ago I'm about to go on my political rant. I waited. because I reached out to Tori, who's a friend of the show. Because last time he was on, we had
That was a good
oh
conversation.
man, we had a good show, man. And the numbers was bananas. So I was like, that better come back. But I was on here who wanted to run for mayor who didn't get his signatures, and we treated him accordingly. Come on.
You know, you got to rule number
Shout out to Ramon and Get Up.
You got to do that. That's how you get in the game. That's how you play the game.
I told y'all, you can rep your brand anytime. It don't matter what show we're doing.
Yeah.
Call in the show. My mama made cookies. Shout out to Miss Jackson.
Shout out
right?
Words and Images. Words and Images.
3041 North.
We got that vegan fest
Next
coming up.
level vegan. What's my sister?
Next level vegan.
Shy Beers.
Shy Beers, yeah, Omega Silly. Shy Beers. Shy
Had
Beers.
mink eyelashes last week. I was like, yeah, man. We all over the
Yeah, you
place
can
like
wash
bird
them
shit,
joints.
man. So shout out to y'all, man. We should have been fighting for economic freedom and empowerment instead of inclusion. Because first of all,
Facts.
I don't want to sit at your lunch counter if you might spit on my sandwich.
Facts.
Right.
So
Mhm.
stop it.
Right.
Okay.
Shout out to Nasha. She say she pray you guys win.
God bless you.
Hey,
God
thank
bless
you,
you.
Oh, we riding. Y'all got to give me some stationery. I got DC signs and I
No
keep
doubt.
forgetting to
Oh,
bring
well,
it
we
in.
definitely got some.
Right. I know you got some model shots.
We got some work. We got some work. You know.
No, let's get a different picture for you to ride with.
Hey, well, maybe y'all need to check out that picture that they took. We went. You know, we found out that they was opening up
An office down in the
a Republican office.
district.
So
Mm.
you know, now we got people giving shots because the reporter that ran it was supposed to be a story because we went down there and asked them what was their black agenda. Like y'all
Right.
coming in the
Mhm.
hood like it's all good, but what is y'all agenda?
Right.
They wrote the paper
And we should have asked them what they was agenda because this is the first time they ever did that.
Yeah.
and on the north side,
Plus-
Black History Month.
Plus, that was in my district, so I want to know what y'all doing, what y'all trying to do.
Your
Mhm.
district,
6th district.
how much of 53206 is it? Because I was looking at the map today, and I know because I'm from Capital and Atkinson, and I know I'm from 53209 growing up, but 53206 started right there on Atkinson
Right, right.
and went south. I know it's bordered by 27th and North Avenue.
Yeah.
But Eastern, what's the border for it on the east?
Up to my district's up to like 24th and like Hopkins or something.
Okay.
Chambers.
So you don't actually have like
All of it. I just
what
have
are 5 points right there on Keith, where Keith Capital
Yeah, yeah.
and with that's part of you too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So right now we have an incumbent in there. Her name is Malele Coggs. My background in social services is deep, and I done seen all y'all, right? I know what y'all do. I know how you move. I done talk to your constituents. You better believe it. When you see my face, you be like, oh, I know him. You damn sure do. So I've done aldermanic walks with her, right? Been in that community because that's bordered to where I grew up on 17th and Capitol.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, Marvin
That's-
Pratt lived across the
that's it.
alley from me.
That's in the district.
Right, yeah. So that 53206 commands a certain kind of attention
It is.
Facts.
because this is one of the worst area codes in this country.
Yes.
Yes,
You
right.
know what I mean? So when you say a great portion of that is 53206, and then you say, okay, well, what's being done in 53206?
Nothing.
Nothing.
She answered.
Absolutely
There's nothing.
nothing.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
When you have these statistics
Hmm.
and people are trying to avoid these statistics because it's political season, right?
Right.
But you have to confront these. This is the time to confront these statistics and change directions if we have to.
Not at election time, though.
No, I'm talking about we got to get out and vote for the better.
You're speaking of, from a voter
From
perspective.
a voter perspective, this is if we don't like what we see, it's just time to change the direction.
Period.
And if you can look out your window and say, okay, I can deal with this, then continue to keep moving.
Right. It's all good.
Hey man, it's funny y'all said
I'm on my hip hop shit.
it's
so
funny
I
y'all
feel
said
it.
it's funny y'all mentioned the black agenda, right?
Right.
'Cause that's what last week's show went completely wrong.
Right.
Shout out to Raymond
When we
Doe.
asked her about her black agenda,
Right.
I think we can work together.
You want that blunt and a fifth of E and J, motherfucker.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
well, you know what? What's
I'm
so
a Capital,
sad?
man.
But they don't want to. They don't want to answer what the black agenda
Because
is.
there is one.
It's
They
not.
don't
have
have
one.
one.
It's no.
Right.
The Democrats don't have a black agenda, and the Republicans don't have a black
one.
agenda.
Right.
So we're sitting here in the middle. I say we should be independent and create our own economics and our
Right.
own public. Redo the public education system and make it better for our children, or whatever we do for our education. We need to take control. We
There
need to
you go.
stop asking people for help
Yes.
that is not going to help us. Isn't that, and that's
Why
sad.
don't we stop being starstruck
Right.
Yeah,
by fake
Oh,
celebrities?
Right.
Yeah.
Look here.
Why don't we stop
Hey, you better
acting like
say it.
when Barrett coming in your church?
Oh my
Get at
God.
his ass.
Now you
Hey.
go to listen.
But
let me
they
tell
want that plaque, that
Y'all
brown
bet- y'all
plaque.
bet-
I said, never trust
Right.
a church with a brown plaque from the city on the wall.
See, I'm a dude that understands the CDBG money.
Mhm.
I once worked for an organization where we did the RFPs for the CDBG money.
Okay.
And at that time, it was 14 million. Now it's 19 million. We allocated funds from the government to deal with piss poor infrastructure
Right.
in the inner city,
Mm.
right? And when I go up through our hoods, when I go up Burleigh and tell them, because you ain't telling me.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: when you give your buddies salaries and vacation time and all of you allocate all this money to your friends, and they take the majority of the money and make a living from it,
And then throw a
And have
book bag
meetings.
giveaway.
and have
Yeah.
meetings and book frivolous things. Plus, it's a piece of paper. Every time you go to these
News network. She's like, oh, I didn't. He been here before, so he's like, they ain't cutting me off this goddamn time.
Let me just finish the thought.
Go ahead, 'cause
When
I was gonna say
you
the same
sign
thing.
these pieces of paper justify them for getting the grant for next year.
Mhm.
Oh, so you only need 50 names on a paper a month. Some people got to get 25. So they'll throw a meeting. That's why nothing happens, because the meeting was for you to come and sign a piece of paper.
Mm.
And or let's say the hot topic is, violence. They're going to just put the hot topic on the agenda, have people come and sign a sheet, and they did their job because they got the sheet signed to get the
Okay.
grant money for next year.
Okay.
Game.
Okay. So once again, to take it back to the top, this is the Warrior Report. It's your boy, the world class smartass. I got my partner Kamar Carter, the holistic healer,
Peace.
black woman's lover.
Black man's brother.
Right, give you some mushroom soup, clear up the flu and all
Yeah,
that.
all that.
I got my sister here, a rapper, right? But he's still a legend. I put you on the stage with Baby Drew and Cuckoo.
God bless you.
Right. As we talk about who's Milwaukee and what's Milwaukee.
Right.
So if you want to call in, the number is 414-231-9982. You can ask this brother and this sister some crucial questions, as I'm about to. Even in the way we choose our politicians.
That's true.
Facts.
And Malele has a name hanging on her.
Yes.
The welfare building
Yes.
is named after her
Thank
family.
That's right.
Spencer,
Thank you.
who I brought the lady who he sexually harassed in Madison, and the state gave her $75,000. We did that show
Yes,
a couple
sir.
years ago.
Yes, sir.
Put that out there,
True.
right? Look, you know what I mean?
Truth.
Negro Whisper. Let me tell you something.
Did you hear?
Right. So
So crazy.
you're running against her name, not against her achievements.
Right.
She's being played because I feel like Common Council is city government.
Yes,
Facts.
It's two totally different things.
Yes.
that's right.
And you have to understand that the way the state of Wisconsin done this is to say, we won't give the biggest tax base, the place with the largest population, all the power in the state. So they'll have Milwaukee City and Milwaukee County government, and they all got to deal with the state.
That's
So
right.
they have different responsibilities. But when we talk about the Common Council, we're talking about you getting licensed for businesses.
Yes.
We're talking about grants that come that are supposed to be intended for infrastructure to be placed where they need to be.
Mhm.
We're talking about those people who make those decisions. And more important, we're talking about the system of checks and balances in the United States of America, which says a mayor does not have all the power.
Right.
Yes.
He is entirely accountable to the
Common Council.
the
Common
Common
Council.
Council president,
Yes.
which is Ashanti.
Ashanti
Yes.
Hamilton.
So y'all represent our neighborhood,
Yes.
Facts.
right? So I just want to break that down for people and get them to understand that. Now, let me look at my chat room because people in here, I love y'all, man. Millie Queen's going in there. Always, she gonna call in. Millie Queen is a Panther from St. Louis, and the Panthers in
Hey.
St. Louis,
God bless you, man.
they love us. Her and Larry shit, they
God
love
bless
us.
they get it in.
Right,
down
so
there.
Can't do nothing but
shit.
love the truth.
Black Power Outlaws. It's the Warrior Report. That's tomorrow night. But Tori said, okay, my boy,
Warriors tonight.
my boy Larry Perdue say, Tori,
Outlaws
how will you encourage businesses, small and large, to reside and employ people in your community?
Well, a lot of people don't know that Brownsville was allocated for African Americans to have economic development in the 6th district, but that's not going on right now. And before the riots, back when the riots on 3rd Street where Martin Luther King Drive, it was a lot of flourishing businesses that were black on that whole strip.
But they wouldn't let us go downtown. So according to my
Right.
mom, 3rd Street was where we shopped at.
Yeah, this was actually where
Yeah, it was
we went.
popping.
That's where we were.
And after the
Originally in
riots, it
Milwaukee.
just never recovered. And then
Integration came so we can go to Brown Deer.
right, so
Go
right.
to the mall.
So all I'm saying is we're already operating in a space that was already allocated for African American economics and for entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
So all we have to do is allocate and activate some of those funds to these to our people
Yes.
and get them started. And they are not doing that. That is not happening.
414-231-9982. It's the report. It's your boy Kevin Barnes, Kamar Carter, Liz Brown, and Tory Lowe. But I wanted you to answer the question I asked you. I always honor my callers, but what you gonna do against this name brand though? How you gonna handle this? Because you gotta fight the whole Cogs lineage. And I've even heard
and the whole Democratic Party.
well, yes,
Facts.
but you're a Democrat too, though.
No,
right?
I'm not.
You don't
I'm
identify.
independent.
Okay.
Well, let me-
Are you running as? Because people gotta know
I'm
where to
running,
vote for you.
I'm
then.
running as an independent.
So on the ballot,
I'm gonna just be Tory Lowe, and she's just gonna.
well, so you won't be under. So for all the people, just check the D off. You got to go to the independent joint to
Right,
find
right.
Tory Lowe.
Right, but I'll be right next to hers.
Okay.
It'll be right. It'll be right on top of each other. It won't be
Okay.
separate.
My sister, are you a Democrat? Are you running as a Democrat?
No, I'm independent, but
You're
I was a Democrat
Right.
until I figured out that 2 + 2 don't equal 4.
Right.
Democrats ain't done
Unless you're from
nothing,
Capitol.
not doing nothing. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm about the black agenda, and
And
what
you
I'm
can't even push the black agenda if you representing something that don't even
Yeah.
manifest.
it's like the Bloods and the Crips.
Right.
So they trying to chastise. We won't fit in a box. I refuse. I'm not going. At the end of the day, nobody showed us no love, and our children are suffering. Women and babies are dying on the
Almost every day.
Democratic watch, and it's time for us to take accountability and understand that ain't.
In Milwaukee went to a Democrat that didn't want to do nothing.
Okay.
So I would never be a part of nothing like that.
Okay. So I want to ask her, because we know Tory done walked to Chicago and shit and spent the night in Racine and all that. We know.
It's
We
so
know.
crazy.
Right. He had some house shoes on by the time he got to the west side. Like,
You seen them live on I-94.
you want to drive down? Should we have stopped? Should we feel guilty because we didn't? No, he's walking to Chicago. But what was you doing before you decided to run that made you want to get into this?
Well, I've been an advocate all my life, pretty much dealing with the youth. I have a 21-year-old daughter, and I come from 5 generations of women that was raped by somebody in the family. So I advocate for child molestation. Me and my daughter had our own radio called The Power on WGOB that speaks about the truths.
Christian station.
Yeah,
Hallelujah.
that
Boy, won't he do it?
Yes, he will.
But we started our own book series, the
Okay.
Lizzie B, the Busy Bee books, to educate our children on topics that was not spoke about when we was children. And the main idea is a child that's been violated becomes a broken adult.
Yeah, hurt people.
They don't know how to do nothing else until you teach them how to heal. And so the bottom line of healing is standing on truth.
Okay.
Prior to that, I'm 43 years old. I've been in corporate America. I worked 10 years for Johnson Controls and 10 for Anthem Blue Cross. And throughout that, I taught AAU girl basketball. I mean, you name
Oh,
it.
you a
I've
hooper?
been there.
I bet you can't be my son. He had 25 last Saturday.
My
He only in the 8th grade.
my daughter put up 42.
What grade she in?
Well, she in college now, but
Well, see, okay,
hey,
well, then
she-
you ain't playing
she
fair.
led
Right?
Wisconsin in steals. She got her 1,000 points.
Duh.
Oh,
What's up? What's up, Tori? No, I'm just kidding.
That's Paul. Big up to
Shout out
that.
to what's
You
her
know what I'm
name?
saying? She was Amaji Lee. She was averaging 28 points a game. She
Where at?
graduated with a 4.0 GPA. I mean, you know, she pure.
Where
Well,
she
then I
was
won't
playing
ever bring my son up again.
She graduated from Bayview.
my
But she
gold
played
chain
for
on.
Vincent.
Oh, my daughter go to
Wisconsin.
Bayview now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, That's what she put. She broke
Oh,
her
yeah.
record, put up
That's
40
what's up.
points. Yeah.
I tried to shine the sister little at me. But that's what
Hey,
Black
man,
women-
shout out to Nature's Deter Herbs and
Give
Supplements.
it up.
This time, I'm going to talk about the sea moss. Wait, no, that's the liver cleanse. We're going to talk about this sea moss right here. It's got 92 out of 100 minerals that body is made out of. So it's good for everything, your hair, your eyes, your teeth. It's good for your lungs. It's good for your bones.
Teeth with an
All
F.
kind of, yeah, with an F.
Teeth.
It's good for all kind of bone
Good
issues.
teeth.
It's known to help reverse arthritis. You want to lose weight. It's high in iodine, so it tells the thyroid to boost your metabolism.
Let's go.
Sea moss is good for so much for you. This is one thing that I suggest that everybody take every day.
Right. And don't forget on Wednesdays, this is what we do. We let the herb man go in.
Yeah. 414-949-2122.
Right, man. It's like that dude at Walmart who's selling socks, man. He got kids to take care of too.
Yeah.
But it's political. It's
And my feet get cold.
And
I
shout out
need
to-
that man out there.
shout out to everybody black that's still in the race.
Yes.
And Lena's the only mayoral candidate. I think we're gonna have Ernell Lucas on Saturday because I talked to Chris Johnson from Kingfish. He said he's gonna bring Ernell Lucas. I think he's running against Ashanti. My whole thing is get rid of the incumbents because if you look at our common council and you compare them to a corporate board, because corporations are all about the bottom line. You know, are we making money or not? And if this city was a company, everybody would have been fired
A
3
long
years
time
ago.
ago. You better say it.
Because you're all failing monumentally. The only person that's getting served is you,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
So I know you open certain envelopes. I've been a college athlete, so I know you get an
Envelopes,
envelope from somebody.
no
Say, oh shit, I'm give me some new shoes,
Facts.
and you ain't supposed to tell about that. But okay, so when we talking about our people, we're talking about who you should vote for. I want you to be informed voters. So they're not on the Democratic ticket.
No.
They're independents.
Yes.
So when you go and fill out the ballot, don't just check the damn D.
Please don't.
Right.
Read the whole ballot.
Please.
Black people, read.
Please.
Reading is
And
fundamental.
do your research prior to.
There you
Please
go.
do. 414-231-9982 if you have a question for these candidates, political candidates. And I don't care if y'all win or lose, y'all friends of the show. So y'all
Right.
come down.
Right.
Like
No
you might
doubt.
just be selling sea moss like Kamara.
Real
Come
talk.
back, like,
Because
I
health
got
is
Come
wealth.
on
Right, I
back.
got this pink shit
Health is
Yeah.
wealth.
Yeah.
going in. North side, stand up. Nah, so we got this. The hot button topic right now is in the last 48 hours we've had 2 police involved killings. One in Wauwatosa and the other on the
It was on the north side.
north side.
But they say
Well, right,
it's 2 stories.
right. So I wanted to start with I went to NPS. 414-231-9982. 414-231-9982. I woke up this morning and as usual, I just messages, right? People inboxing me saying this and saying that. But I had some specific communication in regards to the brother who died. First and foremost, condolences to his family. There's no reason for a 17-year-old to ever be shot in his back.
Real talk.
Never.
Never. I don't give a fuck what he done unless he raped your daughter. Right? But I'm saying what I got from this individual was like, people don't understand that I'm a victim of him because my son was shot by him.
Wow.
And I didn't want to take it anywhere
Yeah.
because I don't want to have to shoot nobody else. And if you
Yeah.
come fucking with me about this shit, that's what's gonna happen to you. 'Cause I don't bother nobody.
Real talk.
But when I got that, I said, wow, that's crazy. But one doesn't justify the other. We know that whenever their law enforcement officials kill one of us, you just put his criminal, whatever, if he just jaywalked.
Right.
He was a
It don't take
jaywalker.
much.
Right. But I'm still saying Wauwatosa has long been a problem for us.
It's been a problem up, especially in the Mayfair Mall area. When young people are up there, they're being harassed by security. They're being basically punched and arrested for little to nothing.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for the last couple years.
Well, when I was with the Panthers, we was going up there because the brother when he had him down on the ground and he bonged him a couple extra times. And we found out that this dude was like a fall guy type cop. Like, I'm the unknown stunt man.
Right.
Mace Eastwood looks so fine. Right? Like type dude, right?
Right.
So we went up there and we told black people, boycott this shit.
Real talk.
And
They
they
was
did.
in the food court the
And,
next
man,
Well, I bought some Reeboks from there after that, so. I mean, I'm just saying,
but it's sad. You
It
know,
is.
because we got to do better. We got to do better, and we have to understand that, like any other place, that people is watching us. We teach people how to treat us by how we treat ourselves.
Right.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, we don't have enough respect to stop and care about somebody else's children because it's your kid next, or it's gonna be you
Mhm.
And
next.
it's just a matter of time when you're living in the city of Milwaukee.
So I know the family done talk to you.
I was just over there yesterday.
Okay. So what's the deal? Talk to the people about this.
Well, to me, what I see is when anytime there's a police killing, we want to make sure that did they give him a chance to make it to court? Did they give him a chance to go through the proper
due process.
channels, due
Mhm.
process? And if that's not being done, then we have to have a problem with that.
Right.
Now, regardless of what his life was, regardless of what he did in his life, he still has an opportunity to due process.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take that away by being a judge, jury, and executioner all in 1 second, then we have to investigate that, because if you can feel free enough to do that, then it's going to be a matter of time before one of them think that, okay, I'm going to get a free vacation. I'm going to get time off. I'm going to get my vacation. I'm stressed out. I'm going to go shoot me one of these little boys, and I'm going to get me some time off with pay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the fact overall that the attitude towards people of color in Wauwatosa is what it is? Now, I'm gonna back this up by saying I was born and raised in Milwaukee,
Right.
17th and Capitol,
Okay.
right? And I've always understood that there were unspoken borders for myself as a black man in this city.
Uh-huh.
And when I was young, and it's funny because my wife is from Minneapolis,
Okay.
so she didn't, when she moved here when we were 20 something, she didn't understand. I said, well, we don't go down what's the road? Port Washington.
Right.
We go through Lincoln Park to go to Mayfair.
Right.
You don't go through Wauwatosa. You don't go through Shorewood because you're gonna get sweat. She was like, "What you talking about?" I'm like, "No, listen to me. This is how it moves." And then when she got a little uppity, because we was educated, I drove up Port. There was so many cars, and they was all black, wasn't they? We used to ride our dirt bikes, and they right. So there's always been this thing here in the city of Milwaukee. Let me run some facts down for you. Brown versus the Board of Education was passed in 1955, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the legislation that makes the segregation and discrimination in the school system illegal.
Right.
Milwaukee didn't desegregate their schools until 1978, and it was on the order of a federal judge. It was so bad that the federal judge had to step in and say, hold on. The Civil Rights Act of housing here until 1968.
Do that math.
We're always behind the curve.
Very much behind.
We're always behind the curve.
See?
Civil rights wise, I do realize this is the last stop on the trip. Put your ass on Walnut and said you can't move no further. This is our lineage in this city.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell you you're running against a name brand, that means how you gonna wake these niggas up and say, nah, don't vote for the cars because the shit's on the welfare building.
Right.
Consider Tory Love.
For economic
Consider
freedom.
Liz Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk.
Well, this is the thing. I always tell people, people stay true to their legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And welfare does not mean jobs. It means we make profit off of your brokenness.
Period.
And on the north, a man and a woman to get in a position to take care of their families. It's always a consistent struggle. And they know this. When you go to Kenosha, when you go to the outskirts, they got jobs like
Talking
that.
about the wild counties.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Washington, Ozaki, and
Yeah,
Waukesha.
they got these jobs.
One of the highest median incomes in the country.
Yeah.
I said median income to mention this. In Milwaukee, median incomes mean what you make in your whole household.
Right.
Period.
On an average, black people make 29.5, white people make 60.
I
It's
thought,
double
I
ours.
thought it was changed from, it was black people was 25,000 and whites were 65,000.
Still have.
It's still the same, but
You still make double what I make.
right. It is. You're right.
I'm about to sell some weed. Fuck.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But to see, the thing is, we allowed that to happen because we didn't get good management over our affairs.
Okay.
So when you don't have good management over your affairs,
What you expect?
going on not a mile away from where you live in a different.
You know why
county.
that happens?
Yeah.
Because you're not an informed voter.
Right.
You keep voting against your interests.
Yeah.
I ask a politician when you come to me and say, brother, I'm running, I say, what's your platform? but you're standing up.
Mhm.
And I kill most people by asking them one question: what you think about Christians?
Right.
That answer gonna dictate whether or not I check your name in the box.
Well,
Okay.
Well,
And we asked Panima Nath about that last week, and she said, she started speaking Arabic. She said, some of that shit meant nigga. She ain't fooling me.
y'all so crazy. Well,
Black agenda.
Well, the
Black
black
agenda.
agenda, nobody wants to answer the question.
'Cause they don't have
They want to
answers.
create the smoke and mirrors. They want to do fake business
Mhm.
meetings that no. We
That-
have
no
all
results.
these entrepreneur meetings.
Okay.
Okay, so we have this every year. How many of those people actually became
Open up
successful?
business.
First of all, we have the same places. G's Clippers.
Uh-huh.
And whoever G is in bed with, this is about the clique you with. I call
Right.
everybody
Facts.
out.
Right.
They
Come
can't,
on.
and they can't whoop me, so it
Hey,
don't matter.
Come on.
You ain't
Come
in
on.
the circle, because I'm not in the circle.
I ain't in
not
the
in the
circle
circle.
either.
I don't get invited to shit.
Call me a square.
Right. No, you a circle. That's why you don't get invited. Look, nobody
sweaters.
now my brother Bull speaks. He's out here on the circuit. They love him. He reps the Outlaw brand. Nobody calls Kev and say, Kev, we finna have a debate. You wanna come?
Of course not.
And it's not like I want to go anyways. I don't want to hang around with you squares anyways.
I don't
But
want
no
that.
truth.
Hey, you know, again, we talk about the black agenda.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people feel like it's a racial thing.
No.
No,
But really, it's not a
Rich and
racial
poor.
thing.
It's really
You know what I
not.
mean?
All right, check
Rich
this
and
out.
poor.
Okay, because see, I asked her. I said, okay, do you feel like black people get a equal hand, get a fair shake?
We are.
You know what I'm saying? And she went around that question too.
See, they good
Now, who
at
you
You
it.
know
talking
what
about?
I'm saying? Talking about
You
Panini.
talking about Panima, the Indian
Yeah.
chick we had last week?
Yeah,
that I took the
Panini.
show
That's
down.
what I said Panini again.
Right, you keep calling her
But yeah,
Panini.
I asked her. I
Hey,
asked her. I
also,
said,
I asked you, can I get a salad with that? Can I get a salad with
Damn,
that?
Panini's
right. Damn, I'm hungry. Why I'm
Oh,
so hungry? But yeah, you know what I mean. I asked her that, and she took it as though it was a racial. But my thing is
Because
this.
it was.
You know what I mean? Black people have been dealt a fucked up hand since the beginning.
Since
Let's
the
just
beginning.
You know what I mean?
Let's
So if you want
collectively
to,
as black
if you
people
want to
start
make
saying
something, if you want to make something right,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Okay, well,
you
why
gotta
not?
get it wrong.
Why not level the playing field? And in order to level the playing field, we have to create a black agenda so we can level the playing field.
Right.
Well-
We're gonna talk about the black agenda. People just tuning in. I see y'all. I got Tory Lowe. I got my son. You. Yeah, baby.
Look, baby, let me rub
Some
this shea butter
elderberry,
on your
baby.
body.
Yeah, your ass wearing beads.
Got this hot
and
shea butter.
sandals, right?
It's good for your scalp.
You
Yeah.
like, you like a male Erica Badu and shit. You got chicks wearing funny pants and shit. I'm like, well, she was fine before she started fucking with you.
Now she got an afro.
He introduced her to the shop.
Yeah, you know.
Don't get him started.
Oh,
Don't
Hey.
get him started.
She
but
realized
you know,
all her
this is something also
Health is
that's
wealth.
this is also something that's big in our community.
shots.
Real
You know what I mean? Something that a lot of politicians don't talk about, ain't raising no issues about. You know what I mean? But like I said, they want to call themselves leveling out the playing field.
Right.
Well, one
We're
thing,
one of the most hurt people.
well,
out
well,
here.
one thing I
Shit
like
is
about
crazy.
Tory is the one thing I like about Tory is you can't say this brother don't be out here.
I heard that.
Fact.
Like you can say a lot of shit. I don't like his hair. Yeah, like the shoes he had on. Yeah. He punched me when I was in 5th grade. But the brother be out here with the
Out
people.
here.
Yeah.
Every family, like, dude, look, my dog got killed. Tory, can you help me?
I
I'm
promise
like,
you.
dog, he don't do German Shepherds. Like, I'm watching you on Facebook, and I'm glad you doing it because I wouldn't do it. I got a family. I gotta go to work, son.
Well, it's all the same concept. You know, I think people. I was manifested due to the lack thereof.
Yes, sir.
Because if they were doing their jobs, it wouldn't be a Tory Lowe. Like if people were
Same.
actually allocating the funds to the neighborhoods and getting everybody in the right position to move the community forward, it wouldn't be no need.
Mhm.
They called me after they done went through the line and say they called the neighborhood services. They didn't call the alderman. They didn't get a call back. When they called me, they about to get kicked out the house, and they threw it all in my plate. I could read you my last 2 messages. You wouldn't even believe what these people was going through. And then they came to me after they got ignored, which pushed my time limit for 2 days to turn around.
You're doing too much. We got to get you some Humana. We got to get this brother some fruit. Man, we got to donate some herbs to Tory Lowe. You do that walk to Chicago, you get the nature's the terms, man.
Yeah, how
talked
about
before.
I'm gonna get you some of the sea moss. The
Well,
sea
yeah.
moss.
CMOS.
The
Well,
sea
that's how
moss
we
right
set
here.
each
I'm
other
gonna
up. That's
tell
how
you,
we set
man.
each other up.
That energy right there.
Look,
It's
Nature
gonna
and
give you that
Turbo,
energy.
we're gonna be one of your sponsors for your next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I put the People's Network and Nature's and the Turtle, so we're gonna be like, you
Yeah.
said that shit, Kim, give me $50.
Yeah.
God damn.
I almost said I
Hey, look, I got chill bumps.
Whatever you do, we want to talk about parties. We want to talk about political parties and political affiliation. And most black people feel like politics are an afterthought.
Right.
They feel like they don't need to invest in that at all. But
Right.
nothing could be further from the truth.
Facts.
This is what government.
Every day.
I called DC. Do we still got it? There it is down there.
No, they're down there.
It's down there.
Oh, this is a good one. Y'all gonna love this.
I called DC on this because
Y'all gonna love this.
shout out to Kimberly King and Wisconsin United for Freedom, who are Madison lobbyists, right? They in Madison in the
Okay.
Capitol. And she came on here. She showed out. She had a great show. You can go back and watch it. But she put me up on this thing about the nations, right?
Oh yeah.
This is all the state. See, people wonder why Kev be talking shit. This is why, because I get this kind of shit, right? Like,
Right.
this the whole bill.
Facts. Yeah.
She sent Senate Bill 248, in which DC and Lena has signed it, to strip us of the right to deny vaccinations for our children. Now, my thing is, I refuse those vaccinations because when I had children, the connection between the vaccinations and the
ADHD.
autism
Yeah.
was hot.
Yeah.
So my wife and I said, we ain't right now. Nah, you know, because my mother didn't do it. She gave me some collard green juice, and I went
Right.
from a preemie to a college football player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my mother's like, nah, you don't do them shots and shit. We did MMR, but first of all, when you stuck my baby, the whole clinic almost got burnt down
Real talk.
as a father. So I said, I'm not doing that no more. And we used a religious waiver. This is a bill that DC and Lena, all these black politicians had signed.
Okay.
And Kimberly King called in and said, did you even know what you were signing?
Mm.
Now, DC had a great look on here, but that was one of the moments where he said, well, yeah, I did. But I'm looking at him like, nah, you didn't.
Didn't.
son.
Right.
No, you didn't.
Right.
You ain't you was part of the party.
Real talk.
You got to toe the line. So when Tory Lowe or Liz Brown runs, how will you stand up to Barrett? When Barrett says, I figured out how to borrow against the property tax levy for tax incremental funds. This is how he creates this fucking train.
Right.
Because you're
Right.
borrowing against this shit, right?
Right.
And if I build this over there, the property value will go up and we'll reap the benefits. You're still talking about overcharging the residents.
Real talk.
So when we talk about Barrett with his stronghold, even on Ashanti,
Mhm.
even on and they all clean. Every time I see him, ain't nobody dressed down.
Right.
I be in the gas station in the morning, I'm dressed down. This nigga got a suit on. What the fuck is 6 o'clock in the morning? Are we that poor where you just get suits and you gotta put a towel?
Well, business is good up there.
Thank you, Tori.
Here, you take that, Tori.
So my goal, because I
Where's
don't
the
know
school at?
if when they was talking about allocating the funds to 47% to the police,
Mhm.
I was the one
The
that
budget, the city
yeah.
budget.
So I'm the one called Mayor Barrett out.
Okay.
And let him know that we shouldn't have to vote him out. He should retire. Like, I mean, he needs to step down.
Mhm.
Like, we are as sick as our leadership.
Mhm.
And so it's one of those things we got to have people that's willing to think for themselves and walk that line and be that sacrifice, because we have to understand that all our public officials don't do their job because the people, it's our job to make sure they do their job.
Right.
When we get lax, they get lazy.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things when you're coming up against Mayor Tom Barrett, if you are starstruck,
He got $1 million off top to run.
I bet.
He got $1 million.
Have you seen
'cause
downtown?
They need him to stay in
White
place.
power.
What they need him to stay in place because he's bringing all the money to it.
White power.
Period.
And we're gonna gentrify this city.
Yes.
You know how we fixed the poverty in Milwaukee? We gentrify. We'll build a
That's the
$500
thing.
million
Right.
stadium
Yeah.
with a fucking 5 minutes away from Pfizer.
Yep.
Yes.
Right in the hillside.
And we have
We're gonna get
schools.
Brown Deer our problems.
Yeah, we have schools. I went to a school to speak to the children because now I'm educating them about my run as an older person, because a lot of people don't know what an older person does.
They don't,
Don't even know their
understand
job.
that.
So it's
Right.
one of those
There go
things.
Kimberly King. She
And they're
just
not
left.
gonna educate us on it, because if we know, then we can't hold them accountable.
Exactly.
So I'm in this school and I'm these kids don't even have a classroom. They being taught in the hallways.
What school is that? So I can tell you not to send your kids there.
River Trail.
Right. Don't send your damn kids to River Trail. They don't got no classroom.
So ain't that
No
up there on
I'd have put this sister in the
Off of
I'd have gave her my office.
That up
Like
there
you
off of
teaching here, man. Mr. Burns, what you doing? Letting her teach.
Hey, we got another question. Larry Purdue said, Liz, your district has some of the highest rates of STIs and domestic violence in the
Get on
city.
your mic, put your mic, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, let me pick this up because
Right. Well, you gotta do
you know how
that.
we do it.
Walk
All
and
right, it
chew
said,
gum.
Liz, your district has some of the highest rates of STIs and domestic violence in the city. What is your plan to implement safe sex ed, healthy relationships in the 7th district?
Thank you, King. You know, it's one of the education programs. We need to, and because I'm an advocate for that, because I'm molestation, and the truth of the matter is, we have to speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
The truth has to happen. Where we grew up and it was like, take the kids out of the room. No, the kids need to be in the room, because it's one of those, when you're talking about pedophiles, when you're talking about sexual violence, it begins at home.
Well, as a father, I say no, take the kids out, because
No,
it depends on what happened to you.
No.
No, I'm saying this because I didn't do that to my kids,
Okay.
and they don't know nothing about that.
Well,
So they don't need to get introduced to.
yes, they do.
No. I reserve the right to have that conversation with them.
Let
Just
me,
like the gay thing. I don't need you to tell my son about taking it in his rump. I reserve the right to have that conversation.
And I get that for you to have that conversation, but what I'm telling you, if a child has been touched, gonna touch. A child has been taught, gonna teach. So we have to understand, if we're not teaching our children, we're leading them to slaughter. Because if you've ever played hide go get it, if you ever played house, if you ever played doctor, that is a violation in itself.
Right. That's
That
called growing up.
No,
Hold on, my sister.
I'm
Wait, now,
fucked up.
if my daughter got,
I played hide go get it.
well, you did. That's why you nasty.
Me too.
That's why you give vitality capsules. You want everybody to be wet. Listen, let me tell you something about my daughter. And this is the one thing that I accepted as a father when she was born.
Okay.
If something happened to her, I provided a home for her.
I get that.
And if anybody touched her, you know who it was? It was somebody who I brought around.
Facts.
So that go, first of all.
Well, let me.
Second of all, if it happened and I find out later, it was my fault because I did not screen those people well enough.
But King, that's what I'm telling you.
So nah, my daughter can say, nah, the only person who ever done dumb shit is you, Dad, and you never touched me. You just drunk one night and fell in the living room.
Hey,
But that's cool.
I never told my dad. Because I knew he was a killer. And a lot of the women and the young men that's been violated not gonna tell, because we ain't never told them it was okay to tell.
You gotta talk to Daddy.
Hey, the violations come by those that are trusted in. It's the cousins, it's the uncles, it's the aunties, it's the police, it's the pastors, it's the basketball coaches.
If you get raped by the police, you're supposed to tell them.
Hey, what I'm telling you, how?
The police raped me, Dad.
Okay, so, and then you get the backlash like we getting the backlash because we're not Democrat, that we automatic Republicans. And so when women and men,
white people be
hold on.
tripping now.
No, we're talking about black people that's tripping.
They tripping on y'all because y'all ain't Democrats?
Facts. However, we don't care, independent. The bottom line is, though, you know, when we're talking about sexual violence and education, we have to eradicate that, but we have to have the funds to do that.
Right.
And so it's about who we have over our funds and how we gonna make sure that the money is going to where it's supposed to be.
What about the fact
Is that where DC Crowley come in at?
Well, because DC, because
The-
the reality of it is the county's supposed to be responsible for social services. Responsible for it. Now, Khalif Rainey came up with the Office of African American Affairs, and Charlton left the county because being a county supervisor is part-time, thanks to Chris Abley. So he went to being an alderman. I can get $75,000 and a $10,000 going from right, like you in a real band now,
Real talk.
right? So the money changes.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's different responsibilities. Black people need to invest in understanding civics. It's something that you can Google.
Right.
I can Google how you stood. Any elected official can be researched. I find out how you voted on what. That's how we found 248. That's why Kimberly King came here and said, "Oh, this your boy. Ask him about this," and we did.
Right.
And DC did a very good job after about 17 people asking. He said, "Look, goddamn it, I got kids to feed."
Yeah.
No, so crazy.
No. No,
For the
but
brother that asked that question though, like it's our goal to have a plan put in place where we're not giving the police 47%. Well, we got brothers like yourself, sisters like myself that's willing to put in the work outside because we're putting in the work right now and we don't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those each
That-
one, teach one, and don't stop until you reach one.
Right.
And
Hey,
both
hey,
of
look,
y'all-
hey, shout out Reach One. That's my shit. y'all.
and both of y'all
Good
elected
looking, Queen.
as aldermen. Do you vote against Barrett on this budget? Because you know it's gonna be a backlash for you. Because when you do come with your constituents and say, "Well, I want this approved," if you don't go with Barrett, his people will say, "Well, we ain't fucking with you."
Good. They don't fuck with me now, so I don't.
You
You know
know,
what I'm
I
saying?
don't know nobody. I'm not.
Well, you ain't elected yet either. So
But
I'm just
at the-
saying,
I
once
don't
you
care.
get down there and they put your name on the plaque,
You are correct.
it
But-
changes.
Well, I need people to just understand. Like I've been in Fortune 500 companies, and I ain't never conformed. When I see wrong, I'm gonna call it what it is. Whether you fuck with
That's
me or
what
not
I
after
want
that,
you to say.
I'm gonna do my job.
But shit, you
And my
been on
job
Capitol?
is for the people. 23rd and Brown.
You ain't never been on Capitol? You sound like you been on Capitol. I'm
Well,
sorry.
well, my ideal is this: the streets need people in there that's working for them, just like
Mhm.
everybody else got people representatives working for them.
Yeah.
And the streets need to wake up and actually support these people that's on the front lines, because when you put somebody in office and you don't get what you want, you decided that when you voted, or you didn't vote. You got to have the same representation as these other cultures, other races. They got people in there that's going to push their agenda, just like Tom Barrett. He's pushing the German agenda, the Polish, the Jewish, Zionistic agenda.
The LGBTQ, whoever vote for him,
Whoever vote for him.
donate to his campaign.
Well, he
that's
already.
his gift.
Hey, y'all know he already sold up because when Morales got sworn in, they came with the Latino vote.
Well, hold on. Here's some more political shit that people don't even understand. Kaylin Haywood, who's a black state representative, who's been given a green light on some urban development, right? It's
Right.
like watching The Wire.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? Have you ever watched The Wire?
We have. I
They
love
say,
the white.
she. It's my alma mater, Southwest State, Minnesota. But he has gotten his clearance on these funds, but then mysteriously, this video leaks
Mm,
with Morales
mm.
is up to get a new.
Answer the phone.
He does it all the time. I can't stop him from doing it. You live on the People's Network. What's popping? Who are you and where you from? Hello? Uh-oh. Somebody got a cricket phone.
Yeah, they need to buy some minutes.
Hello? Okay, you got to call back. You got to call back. Okay, so the phone's working. You got a cricket. 414-231-9982, man. Right. I understand prepaid. I mean, I know you ain't signed no contract. I understand that. But about like how to actually get in the office, and nobody knows about either of you that you are independents. Like, because we see you running for office and you got your signatures, but we assume that you're with the Democrats.
because
Just
that's
because we
because
black.
most people think that the black vote automatically
And goes
goes
to the Democrats.
But okay, let me tell you something. I was a servant. I'm a servant. I follow good leadership.
Okay.
But when I see that the leadership is not good, I'm going to remove myself from that leadership. I'm not going to stick around and wait till the ship go down. I'm gonna be like, look, I'm gonna talk about it before the ship go down, because I'm like, Lord, no, we need this. This ain't happening. Certain ideas, once you see the seeds, 10 years from now, it's too late to try to fix it, because now you gotta overdo it to try to bring it back.
Okay.
And when you have back in 2013 is when I started seeing little kids get shot, like a lot. Back in 2013, going into 2014, it's a video I made in 2015 because it was a lot of children and innocent women getting killed out here in the streets.
Yeah.
That's when I started seeing that this city was headed in the wrong direction. By the time 2015 came, we had one of my people don't understand. My first walk was in 2015. That year was the highest homicide rate.
Yeah, since the 90s that we set.
Right.
I think it was about 92. A bunch of people got like,
Answer the
hey,
phone.
you better have your phone together. I'm not answering your call. Okay. Let's see what we got. You're live on the People's Network. What's good?
People don't understand my
Hey, you gotta
gotta
turn
turn-
your radio down. You gotta turn it
Like
down.
that sound familiar.
Who this?
This is Charlene.
Charlene, turn the show down for me.
Okay.
All right, bull.
I said, wow.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
My sister, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Charlene, I'm calling from Milwaukee.
What's good?
What's up, Charlene?
What's good? What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
We're good. What's on your mind?
I'm peaceful.
What's on my mind? So, the new people. So, background. I used to work for the city of Milwaukee as an accountant,
Mhm.
and when you guys were talking about the budget and all of the things that are hidden in the budget, I want to know what are we going to do to address those budget items. And so I went from working as an accountant for the city of Milwaukee to doing some training. And so everybody knows about Employ Milwaukee. Willie Wade was over that.
Oh yeah, we know way too much about that.
Yeah.
I worked for him. I know way too much about it.
Right. And so he got indicted, but he wasn't the only one that should have got indicted. So Employ Milwaukee is actually the mayor's baby.
Yes, they are.
It's the whole mayor's baby. And so me being a training provider for the city of Milwaukee, what the city does is actually take 20% of your training dollars off the top. And so me, myself, I went to their budget meetings, and this 20% that they're taking from all the training vendors is not listed anywhere on their budget. So I want to understand where that 20% goes.
Okay, now this is a question that can be answered from many different directions because I am a former employee of Employ Milwaukee, and I totally understand that. I know what Employ Milwaukee does, did, and do, right? But I wanted Tori, you all as potential candidates, she's speaking about certain referendums that are law supposed to be in our interest that are given to certain organizations that are picked by them. How do we deal with showing the people where the money goes? I think that's what she's saying.
I always
So
thought,
if I'm a training vendor and I get a voucher that's issued, let's say for $4,000, and so it could be a voucher that's issued from Maximus. My contract will be with Maximus.
Yeah.
For that. And so by the time it gets to Employ Milwaukee, who is only supposed to be the fiscal agent, which is to pass the money through
Right.
over to the vendor,
Administrative fees,
to Employ Milwaukee, they take 20% off the top.
administrative costs. Willie need a new suit. Go ahead, Tori.
well,
Willie need a suit to wear to court. Willie gotta have some court clothes, man.
You gotta put some money on his books.
So it's the exact same program runs in Racine by their investment board, and they're not taking 20% off the top. So why is Milwaukee taking 20% off the top? And if these are funds that are left over by the time they have their budget hearing, why is the 20%
Not
not shown
shown.
on the city of Milwaukee's budget or Employ Milwaukee's budget?
wow.
Tom Barrett, hey.
She asked a deep question. Now, see, as a person who's worked in social services for 20 years,
He was paying attention.
I could break this down to you, but we don't have that much time. So
But I didn't work for employment. I never.
I've been through that.
So
I told you I got miles on me.
see with
Well,
what
good
I
miles then. So you
I'm-
need to educate us.
I've been used by everybody.
So,
I'm a social services whore. No, I'm explaining to you this like my
Why is Milwaukee County taking 20% off the top?
Queen, 'cause
because they're the biggest
Corruption.
fish in the pond.
All I was going to say was this is what you
Corruption.
call contact six. This is when you expose it on contact six.
Employment verification. So you send them the employment verification or the DOE form, and then that's not good enough.
Is this only happening with minorities?
They don't hold the 20-30% for forever.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. First of all, read your contract. Right, but the first thing you got to do is read your contract.
That takes the same federal money, the WIOA money.
Right, we owe it.
They're not.
Wisconsin Innovations and Employment Act. Yeah.
That got the same guidelines around it. Why is it not being treated the same? Why is Milwaukee acting like the mafia? And it just
Wow.
takes
Thank you for
20%
speaking
off
out.
of your training fee.
Man, that's
Because
love.
they the biggest fish in the pond. You just hit it right on the head. They're the biggest fish. You just said Employ Milwaukee was the mayor's baby. That's
Yeah.
big money. We talking about a man who has $1 million to get reelected. You
Right.
don't get that from nothing. That's how we get it, by
Right.
taxing everybody. It's
Right.
called a VIG in the streets. You got to pay to play. So I understand,
But it's capped on how much you're supposed to pay.
right? Well, there is, but if you got to get a lawyer to look at your contract and define those caps so they won't take advantage of you.
We don't have a contract with Employ Milwaukee. They're just a fiscal agent.
Yeah,
Which means that they're a pass-through entity.
right.
And so the contract is with the other vendor, and they're just the fiscal agent. So the fiscal agent does not have a right to say, okay, well, that's just like me giving some money to Kamar that I owe to you, and Kamar said he gonna for collection.
That's like
Well,
a tax
Kamar might
office
have his
almost
own.
set up
Sound like
a
Charles.
Kamar got his own administrative costs. That's what Employ Milwaukee
Hey,
costs.
so
That's when I worked there. That's
Sound
how
like
we got paid.
it's not like the dope game to me.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
You understand?
How about
It
ounce?
is.
I sell
It's a
mix.
middleman.
How about quarter pound? I sell. You
It ain't nothing but the middleman.
It's the
It's the
middleman. You
middleman.
paying to play. Look, I used to work.
The contract.
It's not, but that administrative code written in there. It'll define.
It's not.
I will have to see the contract.
Hey, Queen, the beautiful part is you blowing the whistle.
Administrative cost is with them and their vendor, not them and the trainer.
I need her to get my phone number so we
Yes.
can
Yeah, let's
chop
bring
it
up.
this to the service.
Yeah. See how we
That's what I can
connect.
do.
See how we connect, my
Yeah.
sister.
Hey, I'll bring his number to you tomorrow.
You know her?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, because I was going to say get a number now.
That's
'cause
that's
yeah,
my employer.
It's just a neat
Hey,
answer.
that's my employer.
Oh, is that's Anna?
No, not Anna, not that spot.
You
That's
got
the
so
other.
many jobs.
Yeah, you know, I'm all over the place.
So is this
man.
like a person in Israel?
This here is Alliance Healthcare Service.
Okay.
Remember I told you where I work in the morning where they train women how to phlebotomy?
Of administering the money is through their vendor.
Right.
They have a contract with their vendor.
I get what
Don't
you're saying.
have a contract with me. If I provided a service, I'm supposed to get paid the full amount for my service.
Right. So she's saying they taking her money
Yeah.
and not money out of the.
Real talk.
Gas. I can't say, oh well, administrative fees is you only gonna get $48 worth of
Right.
gas.
I think this is a conversation that will extend beyond this show. Because I
And I talked to a couple senators, Taylor and David Bowen.
We finna get Tory Lowe to walk to Chicago. No, he gonna walk to Madison about this.
we gotta walk to Racine on this.
Damn, this shit. We
Walk
gotta
to
go.
Menominee Falls,
I
man.
got a better way.
You got-
Tell her to call me. We can solve this.
All right.
Call
Write your number
call
down
his
and
brother.
I'll take it to her. Or whatever.
Call his brother.
Unless you want to give it to her
For
now.
the last 2 years, they've been held up about. They owe me about $50,000.
Yeah,
And
Queen.
then they put the red, like I said, the red tape on it. Well, you can't prove that they have gotten a job, so we get to keep it.
All right.
Okay.
So do you got all the paperwork to prove this?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
paperwork and email.
Give me a call.
All you gotta do is call his
I have a
brother.
nice
Oh,
email
well,
trail.
this
Oh,
is what
yeah.
I do
All
now.
you gotta do is call him.
Talk.
All you gotta do is call him, my sister.
Y'all making it seem like all I do is walk to Milwaukee now.
Hey, Charlene. Hey, can I get a middleman fee for bringing you the number?
No, because she just
I'm
paid
just
Milwaukee.
playing, man.
She tired of that shit. Right.
Now look, I'm gonna hook you up now. I'm gonna put it
I'm
down.
trying not to take them to court. I'm trying to work it
All right,
out.
listen. I'm gonna make sure you're right. If you can prove what you're saying,
Go ahead, bro.
if you can prove what you're saying,
Hold on, my
Charlene, let him answer.
She upset.
Hold on, my sister.
Period.
My sister. We understand everything you're saying. Let the brother respond and tell you what you need to do.
let me tell you something. If you give me a
Okay, go ahead.
call, if you can give me a call and I can look at the paperwork and
I
understand.
can't hear whoever's talking in the back and they're talking to me.
Well, Tory Lowe is talking to you. Now you can turn your radio up so you can hear him.
I can turn my radio back on. Hold on.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, if bring the paperwork, it's gonna be all right.
You hear that, my sister?
Yeah, he said bring the paperwork to his office. Yeah. I can't hear whoever's talking in the back. That's the way. That's the
I
way.
know your problems will be solved, my sister. I want to thank you for calling in. I appreciate you for the platform.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Much love.
Peace.
Power to the people.
Kamar, you gonna bring me his number tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're gonna come back on it, and we're gonna come back on here and talk about it.
Yeah. Then we gonna come back on and talk about it.
Okay, I'm gonna let them know if I got my 50 G's collected.
Yeah.
Then you gonna owe me some money.
I'm the middle. We the middleman.
If you come back with 50 G's, I need some of that paper. You gotta bring a 6-pack or something.
Hey, I ain't nothing wrong with paying a collector's fee. But, I'm to the point where I'm just like, okay, we're going to court or something.
I heard that.
Look,
Get it
And then,
done.
they try to blackball you off the list of trainers. The training society is a whole secret thing, and the money is funded from the state and the feds.
Facts.
But
Well, you're about to be hooked up with Tory Lowe. He gonna take care of that. King.
that's the type of stuff I like to do.
And they cut fees off the top.
We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done.
Contact 6 ain't got nothing on Tory.
Right.
Matter of fact, they contacted too.
All right, my sister.
Right. They looking for Tory. Hey man, we need your help.
They do call me.
All right.
That's what's happening.
All right. 414-231-9982. See if you got a problem.
Yeah.
You can call in. We'll see.
The numbers in the chat room.
You can ask these individuals. They want your vote. Ask them what they can do for you, because that's really what it's about. Your constituents ain't pay for your campaign. Your constituents are the people that vote for you.
They give you
Surprise,
a job.
surprise, right? So you can keep serving them if you want to.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll be exposed
Right.
and ostracized.
And see, this is the thing. This is what I like about what just happened. You know what I mean? Our politicians are supposed to be our leaders, right?
Yes.
Leaders are servants first.
Right.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're planning on leading something, you got to be ready to give yourself to the community.
Period.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to be able to be ready to serve your community.
Yes.
You serve the people that's voting you in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't just a leader getting a check, but you're supposed to be a servant.
That's right.
Don't take that Taylor suit too personal.
And I
Right.
think,
Yeah.
in the city of Milwaukee, we give them too much credit.
We starstruck by it.
And we have to understand that the reason they have a job is because of us.
I want y'all to know, ain't no buck dancing like a room full of black people when Tom Barrett walk in. You say what you want to,
done
nigga.
heard.
I done seen some of you niggas. He walk in the room, there go the mayor. Oh, sir, I got an idea. And he go, yeah. I'm talking to him. Yeah. None of you motherfuckers ever get called back.
2.5 seconds he's there. He take a picture with somebody
And he's
black
up.
and he hit it.
To the next nigger event.
He's never in the
No,
same space at the same
Playing
time.
y'all.
And I've been chasing them for about what?
Well, he just,
I told him he was part of our problem and he left.
well, he just sat out. He
Hey,
just sat
when
out
he
the
see
debate.
me, he disappeared.
He just sat out the debate. And I will say this. The only thing Rick snap on him, whether he looking at the security, like, all you motherfuckers fired. And Rick like, and he like, everybody else talk that shit.
Turn red.
Well, the thing is,
I give him that credit.
the thing
Well, they
is-
got me on tape, so I ain't never scared.
Doing what?
they'll snap
I'm
on it.
I
joking.
ain't never scared.
I'm joking.
But the thing is, I don't see. All right, I can say some stuff, but sometimes I don't know if I should say a lot of stuff. Okay?
Right.
Because some things ain't meant for public consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
True. Yeah.
All
Real
right.
talk.
So, but I'm gonna tell you this: we in close quarters, and I don't say nothing to them.
Okay.
So I don't have nothing to say to them because why? It's nothing to say.
Right.
If I want to know what your plan is for the neighborhood, for my community, I just go outside and see what's going on.
Right.
Just like if I want to know the plan for Sherwood and Franklin, just walk down the block.
Right.
Nice.
Why do we have to listen to these people every year tell us what they finna do, what they gonna do, and we walk outside and we scared it's a 50-50 chance we may not make it back in the house
Right.
because our neighborhoods have been dilapidated and neglected.
Mm-hmm.
So
Economically.
yeah, economically. So I don't want to hear what you're talking about because I can already see what you're doing.
Right.
We just gotta open our eyes and look outside and
Answer the phone. Sorry, Tori.
so crazy.
That's what he does.
Sorry,
He
Tori.
never not does it.
That's what's up.
The People's Network presents the Warrior Report. You're live. What's going on?
Hey, what's happening?
Mr. Terry, what's popping?
Peace.
Hey, I think you guys are all young stars because I'm an old person.
How you doing, brother? God bless you, brother.
You know, the way the politics has been going lately, the last couple of years, you can either be a politics junkie, or you can tune out, or you can stay a little bit on connected to it to know what's going on. I think that it's all tied to the young vote. So I put a question online about, how do you connect? My other question was, today's senators vote to give Donald Trump more speaking points. That I think derails some of the progress that anybody can make with young voters, because it basically is a litmus that says, this guy can do whatever the hell he wants, and nobody can stop what he does. Nobody can touch him. He's untouchable. And that's in reference to 45. Now, another theory I want to throw out there, and I'm going to hang up and listen to what you guys have to say, is that my mom lives in a neighborhood that is an urban neighborhood, and it's a neighborhood that her children are like, Mama, why you have to live in a neighborhood?
Right.
Because she raised children that became productive in society. How do you convince people that bought into the American dream in the 70s? They bought the house, they raised the kids, now the kids are 50, but mom and them still thinking about 1960 and 1970 when they got an opportunity to buy into the American dream. All of them. And then landlords and investors can come into the same neighborhood that my mom's block is and buy a crib for $8,000 and put, $8,000 in it and, rent it out. And it's just not fair, because you got older people that really, really vote, that really, really have bought into the dream. And I don't know how you fix what's broken, because there'll never be a tourist in my mom's neighborhood. And if there's tourists, no Cheesecake Factory, or no banks or diamond brokers, you really don't have services. So you're in a neighborhood that is a bad location, and if real estate value is tied to location, what do we do if our location is negative, other than tell the city to give us our true worthless value, so that we can capitalize on being in a terrible location, worthless location? And I hang up and listen to what you have to say. Thanks, y'all.
All right, my brother.
Peace,
My
peace.
brother. First and foremost, holler at 3041 North. If you're planning an event, it's Milwaukee's only urban country club. Things in our background, because Mr. Terry is an original supporter of what I started to do 6 years ago when I started to do this.
Awesome.
So he's always my partner, and but he's a very deep brother. He's been a developer in the community for 30-something years. Now, I want to break down his question so we can all kind of quantify and then answer them.
Okay.
The part of it that I want to speak to is that original investment, because his parents mirror my parents. As a matter of fact, they're from the same hometown, Kosciuszko, Mississippi. All came up here on the same dream. My parents purchased a home in 1970 on Capitol Drive, 2 years after the Open Housing Act was passed. And the one thing about Milwaukee then is Black people at that point had the highest standard of living in this country because of the industrial structure.
Right.
Because Milwaukee was once the toolbox of the world.
Yes.
Because we had more companies and foundries and factories. Like a Black man told me one time, he said, you know what happened to the Black Panthers in Milwaukee in 1970? I said, nah, what happened? He said, A.L. Smith hired. That shit was over.
Right.
Everybody went and got a job making $20-something an hour.
Right.
Correct.
We went to sleep.
Yeah.
So that community, because they did purchase a long time ago, raised those brothers, but this is a different thing now.
Real
Because
talk.
now that community is not what it once was.
Mhm.
Now it doesn't yield the same kind of monetary value that it once did. Therefore, those property values are low.
Right.
And there's a lot of because one thing that happens when you get foreclosed, it goes to a tax auction. So if you're there and you average white investor, I got about 20 G's in my pocket. I can go and buy 4 or 5 homes that are foreclosed on $5,000, and then I can in turn get grants and loans from banks so that I can put
Money in.
and then I'm gonna flip them.
Yeah.
So it builds a
Rent it
community of renters.
Yes.
You become nomadic as a people. You're income deprived. I believe that's the way they define it in Wisconsin, in which over 40% of your income goes to where you stay at.
Yes.
That's right.
There's no equity in renting. I'm not
Period.
mad at rent. Because people who criticize renters lease their cars. You renting too.
Facts.
People who mortgage their home, you took a 30-year loan out. It's not your house, it's the bank. miss a couple of payments, the bank will come and take your house.
They took
Yes.
from your paycheck.
Still take your shit.
Still
Yeah.
take your shit.
So I wanted to speak to that, and I understand, and I know that one of the things is that whole Century City thing has not yielded what Barrett thought it would, and they want to put the slaughterhouse there. Mr. Terry's parents were very vocal in saying, 30, 40 years ago, we didn't buy this house to have no goddamn slaughterhouse across the
Right.
street.
Man, that
We
shit
don't want to
smells
smell
horrible.
that shit.
It smells horrible.
Right.
When I was growing up,
Right.
my mother worked at one.
Yeah.
Way down by the lake somewhere. I don't
Yes.
remember exactly where. But
Well,
I remember
I
remember
and then
going
I
with her
River
sometimes.
Valley. River Valley
Yeah,
was the tannery.
I remember going down there with her, and the smell was just horrible.
It
Like
is.
you knew it,
Right.
like miles away
Yeah.
before you even get there. You knew you was close.
Right. So, and I think the second part of the question, I'll kind of defer to these individuals because they're running for office. What kind of political rejuvenation plan? Because if you're sitting in the common council meeting, we still years later trying to figure out what to do with from you to her.
Well, with me is, first of all, you got to make sure that a lot of people are just not going to come into bad neighborhoods if it's a bad investment because their employees are at risk. So we have to organize our neighborhoods, regroup, rethink, reshape some of the old ideas like Neighborhood Watch, but kind of updated, and get our neighborhoods to look more presentable to a business. Because no matter if we got a building there, if their employees are at risk of being
Robbed. A car broke into it.
and the statistics say that on the north side of Milwaukee, in some areas,
Especially right there.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of poverty there,
is
right?
so no big time Fortune 500 company would take that risk because that's an insurance risk.
Okay.
So what we have to do is get in be in control of this person move out. We're gonna come to the door, knock on the door. How you doing? Give them a then
In the years, like summer's on my mind to do a community garden,
That would
right?
be dope.
Grow all the vegetables.
I'm
Give me
with you.
opportunity to get with the youth, teach them how to
Yes.
grow food, how to grow vegetables, and I can get a food away to families in that community.
And not only that, King, you know, with the community gardens and having the kids outside, a lot of them that dealt with trauma, that's holistic.
Oh yeah, that's
for
therapy.
any type of
Yeah,
trauma.
when you dig into the earth,
Yeah, it's therapy.
it affects your ions and it like
Yeah,
'cause
you
the
can-
minerals in
you
the
pull the
soil.
energy from the earth.
Yeah,
You pull the
dude.
But not
electricity
only
from
that,
the
I'm
earth.
teaching them
Good.
how. It's one thing to go to the store because I realized I'm a city girl, but my fiance is from Arkansas, and I realized like I didn't understand until I was going to the store and buy meat. Like somebody
Right.
chopped it up, you know. I mean, I was they self,
Mhm.
you know. That's amazing.
Right.
But like Tori
That's
said,
something. That's
you know,
something I believe need to be taught in our school.
Well, one thing Mr. Terry didn't, one thing he taught me a long time ago, and he didn't mention this because I understand the connection because that's your neighborhood, right? So I'm preaching to the choir, but he taught me about Brownsville.
Brownsville.
No. It was Brown. It was about the corrupted soil.
whether it's laid in the soil
Well,
from the houses.
from the industrial structure.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
He taught me about I'm
You got
years of it being a foundry somewhere.
Right.
And a lot of those lots that we see vacant now that used to
Yeah.
be large companies, nobody's buying it because they don't want to come in and deal with what's potentially buried there
Right.
from it being maybe a metal fabrication plant forever, and then they put this back into the soil. He'll probably hit me up in the chat room and tell me what it was. But he told me about it a long time ago, and then he broke down the cost of what it would cost a developer. Now, when you add the crime and the fact that I got to come in and do this EPA thing,
Right.
it's just not.
That's why I said-
Brownfields. There we go. Brownfields. I told y'all. He told me about it.
But
I knew he was gonna straighten me. I done drank a little bit.
But the
so.
first step is to make sure that we get rid of the fear of living in our neighborhoods ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's hard because you will get shot.
You will get
Right.
shot. But the thing is, when I go to incidents and I say, y'all shooting at each other, like that's hard because your kids now is involved. Everybody coming over, got to watch they back, and you don't even know your neighbors, so y'all beefing. And y'all don't understand that y'all actually, even though you're not living inside of the home, y'all live together on that neighborhood.
Mhm.
That's just the outer portion of your home. So
Right.
we don't even understand the simple dynamics of citizenship and structure and organization. So we have to actually regroup, rethink, reshape, get everybody back on one accord because they don't understand that even though we're not living in the same house,
our children.
That 1963.
Yeah, and
They
I mean,
taught you to hate you.
and it's real, but I think it's a whole culture. And I just think, back in the A.L. Smith days, when we think about, there was substance, there was pride. When you have a mother and a father that's able to take care of their children, when we get rid of the welfare Cog's name is on, of us working for ourselves.
Yeah.
You understand? Then, because we have to understand that the welfare era, that building represents the breaking down of the Black family,
It does.
where a woman,
Toast.
when we
This is can't catch up.
when we get
Niggas
when we
can't have
get back
shrimp.
to when we get back to the basics of having that substance
So he kicked his ass out of office.
and trying to rebuild the Black family, because that's the main goal, to have pride within ourselves, to have pride. And when you have a strong man and a strong woman that's able to not only talk about it but about it, and when we're talking about engaging the youth, we have to talk to them and not at them.
See, now it's very interesting that you said this. And the crazy part is I have tried for so long to include estrogen in the show because there's so much testosterone in Outlaw Radio. Tomorrow night we do White People Tripping. It's going to be bananas. And OJ will be here and Gigolo Jackson might be here.
Oh, that's my dude.
So, right, yeah. But Jay fucks
What
with
up,
us, right?
Jay?
So, and OJ already,
It's
sisters,
the juice.
we got to deal with our relationship with sisters because
Thank
we have a very, very, very difficult situation. And we did a show and it went crazy. It actually went viral.
I bet.
And it was I'm not going to tell people out there who listen to know what it was, but it was directly connected to what the Black man and the Black woman are doing to each other.
I was on that show.
Was you on there?
Wasn't it down on
No, it was here.
Oh well, no.
Oh, it was
So
here.
it was another one.
Oh,
I
it
think
just-
that was with Homer Blow Man.
Well, see, yeah, we don't do no blow. We don't do no blow. We don't do blow on the show. We don't do no blow, right? None of the homies do blow on the People's Network, right? Right. Homer Kane Rock. No, you know what I mean? Like, right. I believe
get it.
in black, but
I get it.
this show, it resonated with a lot of sisters because it spoke to what we do to each other,
Facts.
trying to survive,
Yes.
trying to make it.
Yes,
And we victimize each other
we do.
and we blame each other.
We do.
And then you'll hear a sister say, that's why we need to date white women, white men.
We have to understand how sick we are, how colonized we are, how programmed we are,
Right.
even to the point of how we were raised. Because again, when I go back to my violation and understanding that 5 generations of the women in my family was violated inside the family and nobody ever said anything, and it was like the violators are sitting at the table and ain't nobody talking. We have to strip away from what it was.
Nobody
that
have a pistol?
Gotta put them niggas on
but the
blast.
thing is, you
Touch my daughter, you die at
But
Thanksgiving.
if you don't know,
We ain't carving the turkey.
you don't have. I didn't tell that I was violated until I was 30. Then when I came out, my little sister came out.
Mhm.
My mother told us that she was violated, but
Oh,
at the same time, my grandmother didn't know nothing about it. So, and
But
I have
I've
to-
been violated by black women too. They've taken advantage of looks. A lot of black women have taken advantage of
and
it.
it's a,
I mean, I'm speaking for real.
and I'm a true believer that women are violators too. And this is what I'm saying. When we can
Yeah.
speak the real, and when we get back down to the black families, we have to understand that our traumas within itself,
Well, let's just
we only
heal.
can bleed on each other.
Let's
And,
stop.
and we got to get real first.
Let's stop
Right.
allowing them to tell us who to be mad at.
You can't heal until you get
Right.
real first.
But let's heal with each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about this Me Too movement now and this politically correct shit. I'm a 70s baby. I ain't from that.
I'm these babies
I'm from the Rick James era. I'm from like that, the Teddy Pendergrass. The more I want, the more you got what I need.
It was substance then.
Well,
You know,
because the
everybody
man,
had a respect.
the one thing those men did, they may have had 2 or 3 families, but you wasn't finna come up in his house.
Period.
You wasn't finna walk across his grass. You wasn't finna mess with his daughters.
Teddy's grass.
It was
Right.
it was
He was gonna be the man of the house
Right.
because realistically, your only responsibility as a man, if you with a woman, is to be the first one to take the bullet.
Facts.
You can't kick this
Feel
dog.
now in the state of black woman and black men, we are all targets, but who's protecting who? Because the
Right.
women don't feel protected, the
That's-
brothers don't feel protected, and then on
Well,
top of that,
tradition-
when we're talking about the youth, if ain't none of us feeling protected,
Right.
then they're gonna
They won't
group
either.
up and protect.
the season's already planted.
I think we also have to relearn our roles.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Traditional.
saying?
Yes.
Because
That's
see,
crazy
you know,
in
we
2020.
men protect supposed traditionally men protect women physically and they protect us spiritually.
You're
Yes.
supposed to.
You
Say
know what
that.
I'm saying? Relearn our.
We got to get back to that, but we
But-
can't get back to that, because
Well, we-
my thing when it comes to the youth, everybody want to talk about what the youth ain't doing, but we have to understand that the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, our children don't do what we say; they do what they see us doing.
Exactly.
Right.
So we have to hold ourselves accountable and know that this has happened on our watch. What are we going to do to get back to the substance, into rebuilding the Black family, and then we can rebuild the Black community?
That's so crazy.
I don't care if you win your election or not. You got a job.
Well, you know, it's all
'Cause we need- no, 'cause-
because it's a part of wellness too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we talked
And-
about
yeah.
when we were sitting
Because
at
we have
the
to be
thing.
real,
Yeah.
you know, and it's time for us to
Yes.
heal ourselves so we can heal one another
Mhm.
and come from behind the 8 ball.
I just want us to stop running from each other. Like, I can't. Why would one brother tell me, don't mess with Tory?
Mm,
Why would a sister say, don't mess with a brother?
mm,
You know, why would a brother say, don't mess with a Black girl?
right.
You know, first of all, you have to understand everything you've been taught to this point until you heard this show. You maybe not have realized it's a lie.
A lie.
They lied to
Hey,
you about
he
the
said,
food.
He said until he's heard this show.
Maybe you ain't never thought about it like this.
And for
The
real,
food,
Right.
the shit they took.
the religion,
It's all lies.
it's all lies.
It's all lies.
It's all lies, and it was handed down. A lot of times when I'm talking to you, what her mother gave her,
Right.
and she can only do what her mother gave her. And then if you dated back, we was enslaved,
Come on, man.
which was taught by the colonizer. So when we go, the reason I'm so woke because my daughter came to me. I put her in Lutheran schools from.
What you got? Oh, you want to give her a patch?
Yeah,
So you got to give Tory one too. Don't do him like that. Like you got to get a patch. Man.
My daughter,
Everybody who come now that's official gets Outlaw
was,
Radio patches.
she was
These
in a
are
Lutheran
stickers.
school
because
all
he
of
didn't
her
get
life.
one.
She was in a Lutheran school all her life. How can the same man that slaved me and how the same man that enslaved me save me?
Mhm.
And she had done her research because she stated, "Mama, everybody that's a different race from us pray to somebody that look like them. Why are we praying to somebody with blonde hair? Tell me why Jesus wasn't coming.
Man,
You know,
I'm a PK. My father was a preacher.
see."
And I was a deacon for 7 years.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the goal is to understand that the learned behaviors that we have been conditioned to,
Have to be.
we have to
unlearned.
come outside of that
Yeah.
and break these cycles. And how do we
Yeah.
break the cycles? We got to.
For his core belief.
And this is why I bring Kamar on, because one thing, see, I'm fat and I still eat meat, right?
Me
Right?
too.
Like I still do all that kind of like I drink a 40. You fuck around, catch me. That's why I could never be famous. TMZ would be like, he got a 40 of old English and a black in mouth, right? I'm black like that.
Right.
But I'm saying just considering the alternative, because we've had vegan chefs bring food on this show
And, it be
and we
good.
ate it live on the show.
It be good.
And it's like, man,
Health as well.
my big
Oh,
ass
yeah.
is sitting here full like,
Yeah, but you know what? If you're not taught to think outside the box, and that's what we're saying with the Democratic and the Republican thing. Me
Oh
and
my
Tory
God.
is on something totally different.
Yeah.
We don't care about what the norm is. We're gonna do what's righteous for our people. We're talking about a black agenda. You can't think or do the same change.
Right.
If you're voting the same, you're gonna get the same results.
Right.
If you're eating the same, you're gonna get the same results. At
This shit
some
is
point,
insane.
the mark of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting
Right.
different results.
Period.
I want to finish this because, of course, Tor, you have a primary coming.
No,
no,
I don't have a plan.
You're on the ballot, so it's just the election.
I'm just
I'm Fred Royal.
Kelly, oh man.
Yeah.
So you brave. You brave because once again, like Tory, I thought Tory was brave to go against Malala
Mhm,
because it's not that she's a good politician; it's just her name.
mhm.
And as people in Milwaukee, which you say, oh, the card, they must be good. That's how we talk.
Right.
They must be good people.
Yeah, they got that. They got the name on the
I'm racist, right?
But-
Right.
but-
They named the welfare building that they good people,
Right.
right? That's how we are.
To speak to these kids when I tell you that the way that they're living is we're third world country living and we built this. So it's one of those things you have kids that's in there feeling sorry and saying that Kobe is a legend.
Right.
So we have to understand that as adults, we have dropped the ball. because you have a teacher that's making $40,000 that's in the hallway willing to teach your children, but your children is saying that Kobe is a legend and they made him who he was. Without them paying and watching his games and buying his jersey and his mama standing in line to get those Jordans or whatever, you have to understand we have dropped the ball.
I think most of the kids would be surprised to know what their mama do to get you them Jordans.
All-Star Weekend.
You wouldn't even want to wear them if you knew what she did.
But we have to take it back
And I'm going Jeans Lanes Friday or Saturday,
hey,
and they got grandkids.
You see a whole bunch of big mamas.
Grandmama didn't have no leggings on, right?
hey,
Grandmama didn't have no camel toe.
but it ain't
My
a
grandmother was like
Look.
90-something years old. Like
But my-
nobody would have wanted to see
well,
it.
my grandmother wore apple bottoms and hoe boots. So look here,
Lord.
it ain't about
She ever had jeans?
no.
Did she go to the Empire Room? I saw
You know
her.
what? I teach our children to carry themselves, you know, and that's just like our young men. When you have, I remember back in the day when people wanted to get in artist clubs, you had to put on a 3-piece suit, you had to act like a grown man.
Yeah,
Right
sure
now,
did.
you have individuals that's teaching our children that got the party pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why the
Grabs
back
on
is
their
closed
pants.
now. That's why it's
and-
only for old people.
But we have to understand our youth is not paying us no attention because it's the old men that's trying to date the girls they age. It's the old men that's listening to their music. It's the old men. I mean, y'all
There's no
wearing
separation.
y'all wearing skinny jeans.
But it's old women twerking too. Stop it. It's
Hey,
it's some MILF twerkers.
Hey.
You can't put it all on us.
Look here, I'm
Big
not just
Mama,
saying.
Big Mama
what-
got
what
that
I'm telling
package.
you.
She ooh.
Hey, look, I do it
Especially
on my
playing some
I do
old
it on my page all the time when
You
I
twerk?
tell women. Hell no, I don't twerk. I got enough backside to do it, but I don't do it.
No, she twerk.
Oh well, yeah,
you like twerkers,
she need to
huh?
stay.
Twerk,
She need to
nigga,
dab
twerk.
it a couple
Twerk,
times.
man, twerk.
Drop it like it's hot.
I'll be
But
dead.
hey,
That'd be
like
rough.
me and Tori was saying, when we talk about the Democrats, what they pushing is the Cardi B's, the strippers, the whole culture,
The gang culture.
the
Everything,
you know-
everything that's on the low level frequency is at the top of our communities. When these politicians want us to get to that do music now, because
Yeah.
everything in the music game, and they have them come
gotta
talk
have
to
a good beat.
You got blood issues. So I wanted to do this because tomorrow night we're gonna do Outlaw Radio. White people be tripping, starting at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Either one of you are always welcome. Y'all don't have to don't wait on me to call you.
Okay.
If you just want to get something out, say Kev. And like I say, you need to come
We
in and
got you
represent.
booked for the
here.
next few Wednesdays,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for the next
Yeah.
mark me in.
We'll
I'm
book
good.
it in because
Okay.
I think this sister can bring something. Because I be wanting to be even killed, but it'd be a locker room.
Right.
So brother just be a special fuck you to the Republican Party. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to like.
No.
I know because people say, "Well, you
This your house. This
respect
your
it,
house.
respect their campaigns," and
This
I
your
do.
house.
But I want to say this from the bottom of my soul: fuck you to the Republican Party. Donald Trump gave goddamn prejudiced, racist ass Rush Limbaugh a Medal of Honor when you got a 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman sitting next to him and you didn't give a shit. Now, if you wonder why this orange, retarded ass disrace a
Man, you better
microphone,
say it.
I do this shit.
Yes.
And I can do it that way. I
Yes.
can come on here and say cracker this and I can make fun of white people. I got enough white people jokes to last a
And he's
long
probably
time.
bringing in all of the hillbilly votes.
All that
No
shit.
doubt.
But
No
that is
doubt.
a direct appeal to racism in this
Yeah.
country. And if you white people still want to try to play with me, because I've been through this when you said broker convention, they'll never get the nomination. And then 43% of you white women who supposedly love the black dong, right, went and
But
voted
still-
for this motherfucker, right?
Facts.
I'm sorry I'm X-rated, but it's the end of the show, so ain't
Yeah.
nobody watching. Let me tell y'all something. Republicans, you can kiss my ass. And you are the most racist motherfuckers on this planet. And how dare white people to allow this motherfucker to get his due, because we pay for the medal.
Yeah.
His golf courses ain't paid for this shit. And then on top of that, you have an impeachment where you do not even allow witnesses.
Man.
Tell me when somebody been
Man.
on trial and witnesses can't talk.
Only in America.
Right.
Look,
Only in America.
all right, I'm gonna tell y'all this. We late on the late train because Trump got elected after he said he was grabbing somebody's vagina.
Right.
Pussy.
So a black
Yes.
man would have never did
Voted
that.
in the pussy
Then-
grabber.
then-
They got mad at Barack Obama for wearing a
Hold
brown
on,
suit.
Hold on. And then
GOP.
Michelle Obama got criticized for showing a shoulder, but he got his wife Oh, you
She
can
butt
make
naked.
it on the internet.
Eat some coochie.
So
Butt
yeah,
naked.
yeah. So what I'm saying
And
is,
he said he want to have sex with his daughter.
this
He's
is
all
friends
that.
with Weinstein.
All
He's
that.
friends with the white boy who hung himself.
but this is a man
And rub it in your face.
and
And,
rub it right in your face.
Don't
And
give a damn.
it's a toxic ass culture that they teach too. that
The
they
rape
put
culture.
upon us. Exactly.
Facts.
It's a toxic culture. You know, like I said, they voted in a pussy grabber. He's a
Mhm.
rapist. But then we got all this Me Too movement shit. Y'all was the same over.
If we're not at the table,
We
we're
on the
still the
menu.
menu.
Mm-hmm.
We as independents, we need to go hold everybody accountable
Everybody.
for what the money's on. These people are getting taxpayers' dollars.
Yes.
Some of these judges on the Republican side, they control the legislation. And we ain't in these rooms and they sentencing our people
Children.
every day. And if we don't get up in these rooms and say, hey, we're gonna go up in these rooms and let them know that we ain't having or be heard,
Right.
if they want you to see, this is why we still train Negroes. We don't want to get off the plantation.
Right.
All we got to do is think independent and go see everybody. We
So
need to
see
hold.
everybody.
We got to have a table of everybody who getting money that's making decisions on our neighborhood. We need to go see all of them
Personally, just like
and not.
It involves accountability.
yes.
If you want to be fiscally responsible, it
Oh,
See, he done cut me off with this shit.
sorry, Kevin.
Man, you a late caller, but I'm gonna let you talk, my brother. What's going on? You live on the People's Network. I touched the nerve. What's going on?
Yes.
You was?
Not at all.
Right.
Me
Yeah.
too, Ken.
That's
Mm.
right.
That's what's up, my brother.
And I want
Independence.
to second that because when you're independent, that means you're self-governed, which means you got to go do deals with everybody.
Period.
And when you become that man at the table for your independence, they
Yes.
got to respect you while you sitting there
Honor that.
because you got the same power as the Democrats and the Republicans. Because
As
you're
independent.
talking for a certain demographic, and if you're not a diplomat for you're going to allow the Democrats and the Republicans to make the decisions for your family.
Period. And we know that ain't either one of them doing nothing.
Right. We don't fit neither one.
Never have.
Right.
Well, I've always told white people I'm a Republican. I'm a black man. You know, some shit I'm liberal about, some shit I'm progressive about.
Right.
Look, I'm
Independent, you can stand for whatever it is that you want to stand for, but the bottom line is a black agenda, and you can't be on either side saying that where I can't go. I do what I want to do.
See, we didn't even talk about our so-called Black Caucus nationally, federally, and our state Black Caucus, which are at arms right now about this white man who's married to a black woman who wrote this. He wanted to do his own Black History Month bill, and the Black Caucus said, "No, you can't write no Black History Month
Why not?
legislation without us." Well, first of all, you're just a white man. You're a guest in the House of Hip Hop. You got to at least talk to one black person.
And I
You
mean,
can't just show up with the shit like, okay, it's like showing up at the barbecue with some stale ass white people potato
but
salad.
I think it's just
Who
one of
made
those-
this shit?
we're not involving the people. That's the problem. First of all, the people don't have a say. That's the problem. A lot of these meetings that they're having,
Statewide.
we're not in the room. And if we're not in the room, we on the menu. We have to understand that they're feeding off of us.
Right.
They're feeding off of our
Our
children.
tax base.
And while we're talking, do not vote for Paul C. Dinsky for the Children's Court because he not vote for
Who else?
Zelensky, who stated that black people bodies should be harvested
Mm-hmm.
because
Fuck
they
you.
was on welfare.
Fuck you,
Don't vote for
Zelensky.
him either.
Who
Yes.
else?
And he didn't show up for the mayor thing either.
Right.
Zelensky or
They pre-counted their votes.
yeah, they got the South Side.
Hey, Ace, man, thanks for calling, man. We
God
know
bless
you know
you.
we
Thanks,
appreciate
King.
the love.
Peace, girl.
You said
Nah, man, you can't get in trouble on the people's
It's
network.
talk.
Right? No, it goes down.
Real talk, real situation.
Man, look, we've been on for so long. I see people still tuning in. You just gonna have to go back and watch the show. It is the People's Network presents the Warrior Report. I got my
Warrior
brother
Report.
Tory Lowe and my sister Liz Brown, who are both independent Black candidates running for aldermanic positions, the 6th district and the 7th district, both running in here.
And
We
then,
got a T-shirt, but we got it from somebody else, so don't vote for him either. Vote for Liz, right? But it's all about independent thinking, and I always say the mistake made with the civil rights movement is that you fought for inclusion instead of empowerment.
facts.
And you should have. Why do I want to sit at your lunch counter if you don't want me there? You're gonna
Right.
spit on my burger.
Yes.
Imagine Burger King would be Black owned if we'd have said fuck their lunch counters. Greyhound would be pit bull bus lines,
Yeah.
and we'd have said fuck their buses.
And look what they did to Black Wall Street. What they did,
Right. So Black people said we're gonna lay down.
they
Right.
laid down.
Right. And we lay
At
down.
some point, it's
But with that, I think I always say this every time we bring up Black Wall
Go
Street.
right ahead. Go right
We
ahead.
got to look at our past, right?
Right.
We say Black Wall Street is the past, and we got to learn from it.
Right. We
And
do.
what I feel like we can learn from it is how they went about it. Okay, they bombed. We was all together.
Yep.
Why can't we all just have this
Come
code?
together.
Why can't we just have a code and live wherever the hell we at? We know who to fuck with. We know who to call when we need some plumbing work. We know who to call for some electricity.
Well, why don't we all
We
just
know-
buy some guns? Because that's what I did.
Well, that too. But
Hey,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
with you.
I'm with
I
that
did
too.
too.
What I'm saying is this: if we stay spread out, they can't bomb us all at once.
Facts. Facts.
Well, they can now because technology is improved.
They
However,
got the drones.
Yeah, well, back then, well, that's about
Because that's how they killed the one guy on TV.
Right,
They had the drones.
right.
All right, but this is all I'm saying. All we got to do is
Jesus.
come back. We want Jesus to come back on the 3rd. What I'm saying is all we got to do is see where our ancestors left off, what they were doing good, and then upgrade the strategies to 2019.
and get some heart. Get
And
people
now
that's
it's a
willing to
digital
get
era. We don't have to be out here like that. Everything is done online. Everything is done in a space where you don't have to move like Martin and Malcolm them had to do and be off the radar for 10 years before they could actually get on the scene. Now you can make one video and it gonna go a million
Viral.
views.
And instead of waiting on the new Tupac, let's just vote for Tory. But unless you understand the legislative process in this country, you're not getting a damn thing done.
That's true.
Because until you pass a bill, because they got a bill for a bill for a bill. You want to go protest, you got to get a permit. And they'll put the Klan over there and make you stand
I'm
your ass
actually
way up.
got a trial coming up just for that simple reason.
Okay.
I got a trial in Racine because we tried to hold up a 4th of July parade after a young man was shot twice, execution style in the head. And they told me to move out the street, and we wasn't moving.
But now was that in Ray? That was
That was
Pleasant.
Racine.
But it was in
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant, right? I remember that. We getting killed all over the place.
all over.
And if you niggas go spend some money at Mayfair this weekend, God bless your special ass.
Please don't.
I don't care if you want to be an uppity Negro and you want to say, well, hey, you shouldn't have had a gun in the mall. Guess what? It's gonna get closer and closer
Yeah,
to you.
right.
Because every time you pass on the chance to do something, it gets closer and closer
And
to
we
you.
have to understand that this is the world that we're leaving our children in. And right now, we have done a horrible job. When I say a horrible job, we don't feel safe. Our children don't feel protected.
I drive
At the
slow
end
as
of the
hell.
day, but I mean, even with that, when we're talking
Even when
about
I ain't drunk.
swerving, look at the potholes.
Right.
Because I'm swerving, trying to avoid the potholes.
There goes some more shit.
I'm gonna give y'all one more chance because y'all so lit and people are tuning in. If you have a question for Tory Lowe or my sister Liz Brown or even Kamara about herbs, or if you just want to smoke some herbs with me, 414.
Hey, hold on, what's this?
Hey, he barely coughed since he.
Facts.
Hey, he haven't. He ain't gone.
Facts.
I'm just saying, like,
At first it was like,
Holla at the kid.
Yeah.
Holla at the kid. Oh yeah. Also,
142319982. If you just want to say something to his brother and his sister before we get
a little shot. If you planning on taking a trip somewhere anytime soon in the next year or so, inbox me, Kamar Carter, because I can send you a free website, a free travel savings website where you can save up to 35% on your hotel stays and your car rentals.
Dope.
You can also book your flights with this website I give. It's free, y'all. It's free. Why not save some money for something you're going to do anyway?
Real talk.
Holla at the kid, Kamar Carter.
All right.
Facebook.
Now, we're going to bring this sister back most definitely. And Tori, you can come whenever you want, bro. Don't be no stranger. You can just
Open door policy.
come on, man. I told you that last time.
You did.
Man. I'm just like that, you know. And look, I forgot. I'll talk to Teach, Listen, Learn, our co-host. He'll be here tomorrow night when we do Outlaw Radio. White people be tripping. I'm going in on white people tomorrow because this is all I can do. They can kick me the fuck off Facebook. I wouldn't give a good goddamn. White people be tripping, especially this week. What I just watched y'all do, especially when you give Rush Limbaugh a medal of honor.
It's right in your
For
face.
what? A convicted
Right.
pill popping, sexually assaulted, race.
Smack in the face.
He gave him that award because he brought in him all them hillbilly votes.
Well, because he represents
Mhm.
white supremacy. He's a direct
That too.
representative.
He
He's
got
the
kicked off
poster
Fox
boy.
News as a sports anchor for his racial comment.
Right. Well, with that and some sexual harassment and
Yeah.
some pill convictions and shit. I'm just saying, man. Once again, if y'all want to say something, y'all got 5 minutes. 414-231-9982. I wish y'all had brought some stationery because I got DCs.
I do.
Okay, you got something?
Yeah.
Give it to me so I can put it up.
Okay.
But my sister, it don't matter if you get elected, you already got a job.
Hey, send them on.
And Tori got a job because Tori he gonna walk to goddamn forever for the people.
Crazy.
So he can't be at the show like, yeah, I told you I'm walking with Waukegan this weekend. So, it's all good.
Hey, do you normally walk by yourself?
What I do is I offer everybody to come with me, but then when it's time for the day, nobody come. But they don't. I always say 6 months before I say, hey, y'all want to get ready? Let's go. Soon as time, it's the same
Commitment.
people.
Well, this year I want to do this. I want the people's net. I just want to get you some shoes. That's my
Now,
tradition.
Gigolo Jackson tried to give me some shoes the last time.
This is real talk. You just get big ideas for a while, so you need to holler at me. We talked about it on the show.
It's all
But
about
we
creating.
gonna make sure we get you some of them white people New Balance this year, like the
I
ones that
love
they be jogging in down the
Hey.
road.
Can I get the Kawhi Leonard?
If you name it, we gonna frame it, brother.
Hey, with the varicose straps.
All that.
I want the Kawhi Leonard New Balance.
Whatever he wants, because we can at least put some.
This last time I added a bike ride because
I ain't riding no bike either. And an El Dorado ride. I'll be in the back seat.
Tyrese West was shot riding his bike.
Okay.
Mm.
So when I was coming down to a race, he and I rode a bike.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's dope.
That's what's happening.
So how do they get to support your campaign?
Friends of Tory Lowe, and if you want to Google ToryLowe.com, go to ToryLowe.com and you send me a message, and then
Okay.
we'll look it up.
And everything you put up, I'm putting up. I'm sharing it. I'm putting it in the People's News Network, which is our sister group for the show. And the People's News Network goes down.
Plus, they're trying to sabotage my campaign. They
Yeah,
try to get lawyers and
Yeah.
everything, and then Elizabeth Coggs and all. They trying to jump me. The Democrat crazy about me. A lot of people gonna look at you sideways because there's
got
a lot of
results.
results out here that have been done. So
Result based.
I just laugh at it because I'll be like, is this what they're doing? They're not talking about what they're doing. They're trying to get messy, and only pigs wallow in the mud.
Right.
And Elizabeth Coggs and some of them people over there look like pigs anyway.
Ooh, I ain't gonna even touch that. All right. So how do you get in touch with you, my sister?
Elizabeth Brown on Facebook, Elizabeth Brown and Friends. You can inbox me as well, Arthur Liz Brown on Instagram, Lizzie B Busy Bee on Facebook. And also my number is up there too on one of my pages. So just look up Liz Brown and vote Liz Brown for the turnaround February 18th.
I like that. Liz Brown for the turnaround.
Right. You holistic
7th
healing,
district.
right? That's what's happening. Black people love shit that rhyme, man.
We do, you know.
Look at that Jesse Jackson and all this. Like,
That's our swag. That's our swag.
swag.
You know what I mean? That's our swag. Way back to Dolomite.
So crazy.
Ain't nothing like a good beat and a rhyme.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, please support the People Network. And tune in tomorrow night because we go Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'm actually looking for a bunch of partners right now because we're in the process of really constructing some infrastructure for what we do. Teamwork makes the dream work. You can holler at me about sponsorships. I'll shout you out for free. You can rep your brand, but long term, we're gonna get it done so we can be a win-win situation.
Right.
Because
we can use each other, but we can't misuse each other.
Yes.
Exactly. There you go. Right.
That's
So sometimes I'm on top, sometimes you on top. So I mean, I'm just saying, man.
But I ain't never catching.
Right. We gave them their patches.
Facts.
And they
Thank you.
outlaws for life, right?
Valid right
Yeah,
now.
so outlaws Outlaw.
Hey, that's crazy that it's the outlaws because actually we've been the outlaws for the Democrats.
yeah.
and Republicans.
Why you think I see all kinds of cats in barbershop talk? Like what? I got a fucking master's degree. That's damn near a PhD, and you ain't invited me nowhere.
It's okay. We're gonna invite our own lane.
So,
We invent our own lane, and
Yeah.
Outlaw Radio is where it's at. Real talk, real people, real.
Oh, she ain't even been on Outlaw yet. We got to
Between
bring her
us.
up.
Oh,
she-
yeah, you love Outlaw
You
Radio.
love Outlaw Radio. So look, I have to quote the great Willie D, like I always do when I close the show out, and I tell you, if you want to know whether or not you're inside or outside, maybe sometimes you say, "Am I woke? Am I not woke?" I just put it to you like this: if your criticism of the black community outweighs your contribution, you're probably a coon. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Wakanda forever. Peace.
Hey, that was a dope saying.
I stole it from Willie D though.
That's still dope, though. Like,
I thought it was slick when he
that's a
said.
reality check.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
sometimes
make
you
you
have
look
to
at
go back
yourself.
layman's term and bounce like I am a coon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, make you look at
I
yourself.
did a show called The Coon in Me. What do I do that's coonish? Sometimes I
Gotta
lock my
admit
door when I
Hey,
see certain
hey.
people.
Gotta
Truth
admit
is
it
real.
first.
You can't. I mean, if you don't know you sick, how you gonna get help?
Exactly.
That was dope, though, man. So, what's up with the herbs?
Oh yeah.
Pusha
Oh yeah.
man.
I'm all over the flat all type
I'm
of stuff.
your
It's just
Pusha.